So today we have a guy who you might recognize as just another guy that hangs around here, around campus, and but he's a special guy now. I met Joseph a long time ago, and when he was knee-high to a pup, I guess. And actually, yeah, he helped considerably back when we were doing the Kingdom Quest team. And I noticed then, we were up on Palomar Mountain, and I was accompanying him to his first station. He was one of the scouts. He was one of the team leaders. And we were checking out a part of his course, and both of our alarms went off on our phones. It was time for the Angelus. And he's one of the only guys that would pause for the Angelus. And other displays, when we got back from that, his family was there to meet him. And, and then as MC, I mean, this guy's a holy guy. So these displays of holiness always impressed me. And then it wasn't, well, then there's another thing. You guys did a presentation on Consecration of St. Joseph one time. Yeah. And then that inspired us all to consecrate ourselves to St. Joseph. So we had a group of guys that did that, went through the process, and Joseph helped us with that. And this is way before he even, I don't know, maybe you thought about becoming a deacon then, but anyway, he's true to his namesake, Joseph, kind of the quiet strength of a really holy person. And it's an honor to have him here. He's quiet, but effectively living as a true disciple. There is the fire of the Holy Spirit in those eyes. So you can see this quiet guy, but then you see this kind of like quiet, active. So please give a hand to Joseph.
Thank you. Okay.
Have a seat.
Thank you.
We'll get started here.
Just really quick about that time, we did the Kingdom Man with the Angelus. Yeah, my alarm went off, and it was like I had it as church bells.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was my phone. I thought there was a church back there, so that's why I didn't answer it for a long time. And I was like, oh, is that me?
That's funny. Yeah, he's got a permeating his being. So, so to begin with, I'd like to ask you a little bit about your upbringing. Where were you born, and tell us about your family and.
So I was born here in California, Oakland, California. My dad was in the Navy, but I think we were there for only maybe just a couple of years, and we moved down to San Diego, and since then we've been here. From what I remember, I mean, okay, so there's three of us brothers growing up. I'm the middle child. My older brother Ed, I think most of you know him. He was an MC here for a while, and he has a ton of kids. I think 4, and then I have 3 kids myself, and then my youngest brother. They don't have kids yet, but growing up, it was just us brothers, and my dad in the Navy. We would go to Holy Family Church on Miramar Base, and then. I just remember when it's time to go to church, it's time to go to church. I think the best example of, fidelity is to my parents. They brought me up with, because my dad was military, so he's very disciplined, and that's why I get my haircuts also, and I just wanted to be a good boy, just obey my parents. That's how I heard the commandments. And so when they say to do things, I did it. And yeah.
Well, how'd you get along with your brothers? I know you and Ed have a pretty good relationship. Was that instrumental at all in
Oh yeah. I think, growing up, just as boys, I mean, we would roughhouse and just get into things, but it's good to have the older sibling, to have that model.
Mm-hmm.
And you want to do the same for your younger brother as well. And so I think, especially once he had kids and then I had kids, that brought us even closer.
Yeah.
Just wanting to be good dads and just hanging out even more.
Mm-hmm.
Like how we couldn't do so much in high school. He had his own group of friends, and then I had my own group of friends. But the older we got, I think the closer we got. Even so, in our families, every time we get together, it's loud, it's great, and I love it. I love it. Yeah, and just yesterday we went to visit my younger brother in Coronado, and his wife. She plays at a restaurant. And just having them close, and just being with the family, I think I love that the most. Yeah,
That's great. And then, of course, I'm also a middle child, and don't they say that the middle child is the most well-adjusted? Just check. Yeah.
I mean that's why. Yeah.
All right. Well. Was there obviously there was a pretty strong faith orientation, and I guess obviously that kind of plays through currently. What about your brothers? Are they the same? I know Ed is pretty faithful, and Christine has that sort of. I mean, she's involved with RCIA and all that stuff. But what about your younger brother? We don't see him much.
Yeah, because he's in Coronado. They visit. They go to, what is it called?
OCI or?
The church over there.
Oh.
Sacred Heart.
Yeah.
I think Sacred Heart Parish. Yeah, his gift is music, and so him and his wife, so they're part of the music ministry, and they've been doing that they used to live in Chula Vista, and they were part of the music ministry there too, so I think just, we've always had that faith in us to be part of the parish and serve in whatever capacity we can. Especially growing up with talking about my younger brother, he plays guitar, and I was playing the drums, and we just jam at home. And I think that love of music and the love of God, just putting that together, just keeps going. And I know he's been part of the music ministry there, and sometimes we just play at home, and it's just fun. And then Ed, my older brother, when he became an MC, that felt really, I was really happy for him. I think it was Father Anthony who invited him to become an MC, and just to see him up at the altar was just so. I was just so happy for him.
Yeah.
I was just so happy for him. And then I'll tell you one other thing. When I became an MC, and then we all went, and we were going to a pilgrimage together with Father Ignatius to Europe. Father Ignatius asked me to bring the cassock so I can MC up there, and I said, Father, can we have my brother do it too? And he's like, we just need one. I said, yeah, but it'd be good to have two altar servers. It's always good to have altar servers. And he's like, okay, fine. Like, tell him to bring his cassock. I said, okay. So I think on the first day, we're going to go to a church, and I think Father Ignatius was asking, okay, just decide who's going to serve this one. You can alternate. And I told my brother, I go, let's just serve together. And he's like, oh, all right. And And so we were serving together, and that was very special for me. But one of the visits was at the Vatican, and we got to serve together in the Vatican. That was a memorable time. I really enjoyed it, and I said, "Okay, God, that's it. I'm done. That's perfect. I can serve with my brother at the Vatican. You know, one on the right and one on the left."
Just like James and John,
Yeah.
what they were asking for.
Or Peter and Paul, actually.
Oh, sorry. Well, you're the expert now. Well, so that obviously had the lasting effect on you. Tell me about did you go to college here in San Diego? And
I did.
Which school?
I went to San Diego State University.
Yeah. And did that set you back at all?
No. Actually, well, I mean, you know, you're in the college years, and so there's a lot. There's a lot, but I think I was pretty grounded with a Christian community that I was with, Couples for Christ at the time, Singles for Christ. There's different tiers, and then at the time I was single, so Singles for Christ, and so we would be together faithfully during those times, and those were really important because that grounded me more in my faith, and I don't think I've ever strayed away.
That's great. Well, so I would say that's a rarity these days, where kids go off to college and then they come back and you don't recognize them. It's like, what happened to you? So,
right. Yeah.
So you had your community that was.
I think that's important to have that good faith community to ground yourself. It's you develop holy friendships and you stay with that, and there's a lot of people. I have friends who I grew up with who are not Catholic, and we're still good friends, and they've come to my ordination, and they're very, very happy, and so they see that happiness in you. They know you have a faith in God, and they respect that too.
Mm-hmm. Cool. So we talked about a very significant experience at the Vatican. Were there any other things along the way that maybe influenced you to take the path that you're on? What first inspired you to be a deacon? That's a pretty formidable course that you have to go through. What was it that got you going? Was it a series of events, or was it just one thing that kind of keyed that?
Well, yeah, it would be difficult to pinpoint the one thing, but I think God has always, I think, been in my life. It's always good to look back and reflect on where God was, and I think one of the biggest moments was when I was fairly young. I mean, I was born with a cardiac condition, sinus of Valsalva fistula. It's like a small hole above the aorta, and I had to. My parents didn't want their baby to have surgery when he was born, so they waited till I was in high school to have my surgery. And I think even before I even questioned God, to say, why me? Why, to have those type of doubts or questions. I was pretty into, Larnie was there. She's my wife now, but she's always been there for me. And I think one of the scriptures also helped me to understand. I forget who said or what line, or if it was Matthew or something, but it was the disciples were walking and they saw a man blind from birth. And they asked Jesus, "Rabbi, who sinned, this man or his parents, that he would be born blind?" And Jesus said, "It was neither this man or his parents, but it was so that the works of God may be displayed in him." And so that that really affected me, and that stayed with me for the rest of my life. Because it could be any condition, it could be anything, but it's so that the work of God may be displayed in you. And I think that really brought me that trust in God. Yeah.
That's beautiful. Well, did that hold you back at all, that condition, until you had it corrected?
No, I mean, I felt fine. I would get into, things, skateboarding, riding my bike, and try to play, street football in the middle of the street. And my parents were like,
What's that for?
I felt like a regular guy, and it was just, I was just having fun, and it didn't really hold me back.
Well, obviously, you mentioned Larnie. Was she? When did you meet? Where did you meet?
Yeah, we met in high school. She lived down the block from me, like maybe a couple houses, so she was like the girl next door. And I would always joke about, like, every time I would get the mail, I would look over and see her, and then she'd be like, that's not how it happened.
That's funny.
But I mean, we were friends. We've been friends since high school, growing up, and we have younger siblings, and we thought they were going to get together. And so when they found out that Larnie and I finally got together, like, ew, gross. But we didn't date until college. Yeah, we stayed friends for a long, long time.
Cool. Well, did you? Well, I guess back to Larnie. Was she when you decided that you wanted to go into the diaconate? Is this something that you had talked to her before? And then was she involved? I know that it used to be that the wives would go through some of the classes with the deacon candidates.
Yes.
Did she go through those with you?
Yes.
How was that?
No, she loved it, and she was. So the wives go along with you in the courses. All the courses, but they can take it either for credit or they can audit it. But Larnie's the type to take it for credit and to get a grade. And it's not like we're competing or anything, but she's like that type of personality.
Did she help you a lot through the?
What did you get for this answer? No, we would help each other. Let's say that.
That's good. That's a good diplomatic answer.
We would help each other. Yeah. She and it's great because she kept it throughout the whole thing. I think some of the wives started taking classes for credit with their husbands and then stopped in the middle.
What did that show poorly on the deacon candidate with?
I don't know. No. She went through the whole thing, and so she's very proud. I think maybe she's just a couple of classes away from a certain ecclesial certificate or something like that. I don't know, but
Yeah.
she can just do a few more and get something.
Yeah, there's a certificate in Catholic studies, I think is what it's called. Marty got one of those.
Oh.
It was a certificate in Catholic studies, I believe it is. One question I had was, at what point in the process, and now it's about a 5-year.
It's 5 years. Yeah, the formation is 5 years. The first year is a discernment process, and then the next 4 years are classes and meetings and ministry work. What
part of that process did you appreciate the most, and what part was most challenging that you probably could have lived without?
Looking back, I think all the years they're all different stages because you're growing in and closer and closer to ordination. I really enjoyed the fellowship with the class that I was with. We started off as nine men going into formation. I think at the end of the first year, one of them dropped out because of family situations, and I think that devastated us as a group, as a class, and I think that brought us closer because of it. And thanks be to God, he came back as into the next class, so he'll be ordained with juniors class coming up, and so we're praying for him. And what was I going to say?
Most challenging.
Oh yeah, there's challenges that go through. I know that there's one point in my second year, my mom was developing a tumor in her brain, and I was seriously deciding to step back from formation, or at least take a pause and help, take care of my mom and my dad, who was caring for her at the time. And you can just see how her health was deteriorating, and and it's affecting my dad because he's the one caring for her. And then I just wanted to take a pause from formation, maybe may come back to do the diaconate later and just take care of my mom. But talking to my spiritual director, talking to my other classmates, who's also they have things going through their lives as well, and it's just you just, lack of a better phrase, but just got to keep going with it, because there's always going to be challenges, and I think in a way it's God's asking me, can you trust me during this time, even while you're going through this? And so I stayed on. Mm-hmm. I stayed on, and always praying. And my mom, she got better. She got better. Thanks be to God, she got better, and she's walking with a walker. She's not 100%, but she can hold conversations. Her mind is back again. And it's such a blessing. Such a blessing.
Pretty miraculous, I guess.
Yeah.
That's awesome. We see miracles every day, and we don't realize. So, I have here Saint Gabriel, and then Saint Michael. Were there times that you wanted to just, first of all, you got called, right? Sort of like Joseph, who shepherded Mary and guarded her and protected her and led her. But it was really the Holy Spirit that was leading. He got the call, to do what he did, and as Mary did with Saint Gabriel here.
Yes.
And then, but there's always that element of evil that's trying to intercede. Mm-hmm. So there's Saint Michael, and I don't know. I think at least 3 times a day I say the Saint Michael's prayer. Were there times when, you just described one instance, were there other times when you're studying or whatnot and you're just not getting it, or you're a little frustrated, kind of tired, maybe going through the process, and you had to appeal to...
all the time, all the time. You're going through these classes. You are... your goal is to be ordained to serve the Lord, and you're gonna get attacked. Mm-hmm. You're gonna get a lot of spiritual attacks, even situational things like losing jobs, even one of the frustrating things was I was looking forward to the Liturgy and Sacraments class. I was ready for it. I was so excited for it. And then I got to the class, and like my first day, I think we just had to sign up who's going to lead Liturgy of the Hours is one of the prayers that we do. And I led it the first day, and I bombed pretty bad because I didn't have any worship aids. I didn't give good instruction. The teacher was very strict, but I really respect her. But she was expecting a lot. She's like, I expect more from a deacon candidate. I'm like, okay. Whew. So I started really low, and just like every day was like it was a grind with that class. But I was telling Larnie, like, I really want to love this class because I've been waiting for it. Liturgy and sacraments. This is the one. And she was just like, I know, but I think there are forces trying to make you not like this, and it's trying to make it difficult for you. And I was like, yeah, it's happening. And I told the class, I did the worst in the class, so you guys can just there's no way you can do worse than me. And so I knew it just got better and just got better in that class. Yeah. Even my first paper in that class, she said, okay, you write a reflection on something, and I get back all these red marks. And so you didn't cite your work, and I go, what? It's a reflection. But okay, all right. I'm gonna keep going. Keep going. So by the end of the class, it was it was like an interview between you and the professor. The final was do a liturgy paper, create a liturgy plan, and so I did a liturgy on a funeral rite, and then she said, write maybe a 5-page paper on the liturgy rite, and then so I okay, well, there's liturgy. There's 3 rites in the funeral, so do I have to make? So I ended up doing 5 pages for each rite. And then she said, no, you just 5 pages for the whole thing. So, okay. But by the end, though, I had the interview with her. She said, you ended strong. And she was so proud of my of my improvement. And I said, I was always like that. But that class, helped me to become, to see the details in the liturgy that I do today at OLMC, and to understand the sacraments even more. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I, it could have gone either way. I could have just not liked the class and just. Mm-hmm. But yeah, you just got to keep going and keep praying.
Yeah. Yeah. Today's reading talked about persistence, mm-hmm. And obviously it takes a lot of persistence to take on something hard and see it through.
Yes.
And 5 years, I imagine that first year of discernment must have been kind of taxing. I mean, did you ever think that maybe this wasn't the right path during that year?
I don't know. It's just, I think because everything is still new. Mm-hmm. And so you're just trying to feel it out.
At what point do they say, yeah, you're in, you'll be ordained? Is it like the day before ordination, or is it
I guess so. It could very well be up until the day of.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. But I think you have to make the decision that I'm going to step over this line and say, "Nah, I'm all in."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, after that much time, it seems like
you better.
You put in all that work.
Yeah.
What is your idea of a good deacon, and how do you bring, or what do you bring to the diaconate?
Oh, okay. What do I bring? I mean, I'm an artist. Growing up, I think the first language of love that I got from God was beauty and creativity, mm-hmm. And so I just love drawing and seeing the beauty that God created around us is everywhere, and to help, I guess, remind people that it is a beautiful world, and what God created is marvelous and wondrous, and to be filled with that awe still. What a good deacon, I guess a good deacon is someone where you don't see. What I mean by that is that when you see this person, you see Christ working, because we are the hands and feet of Christ the servant. And so my hope is that when you do see me, you see that Christ is working in me for food for families, or Christ is the one burying this person. Christ is the one baptizing this child. And you can be inspired to see me up there, but it's Christ the one who's doing it. So a good deacon is someone that you don't see, that it is Christ.
I like that.
Yeah.
Well, by the way, the logo, didn't you create that?
I did. Yes.
Yeah.
A little update from the Our Lady of Mount Carmel and the 50th anniversary coming up. It's going to be even a little more updated, and so more hats and more swag upcoming. Soon. Yeah, a little plug there.
Yeah, well, I think the whole idea of seeing the beauty of God's creation and then seeing God reflected through that is really a great thing. And I think that, being humble and I like your description of being kind of the inner workings behind the scenes almost, but you're there. You are visible.
Yes.
But those that see you would see Christ working through you, and I think that's what a lot of us see. What would your advice be to anybody who's considering the diaconate?
If you're considering the diaconate, if you're considering, or whatever God's calling you, it's a yes. Anything that God is calling you to do, it should be a yes, shouldn't it? Whatever it is, though, to pray, ground yourself in prayer and faith, and trust in the Lord that He will make all things new, and He will lead you to where you need to be. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
One last question before we get into a Q&A period here. I'm just curious about, sometimes people think that they're called, but the reality is somewhat different. How did you decide that it was a true calling for you?
How did I decide if it was a true calling?
What was your indication? What made you realize that this is the path that God has opened for me? Mm-hmm. And I know it's going to be tough, but I'm going to persevere.
Yeah.
What was your?
Yeah, I think.
What was the hump that you had to get over? That.
I think that would be a Larnie question. My wife, I think she would answer, because she sees me. I think she's talked about this with her sisters in the formation, but to have that servant's heart, mm-hmm. first and foremost, and sacrifice, that sacrificial will to serve. I think she would say to. She would be the best one to answer that, but
give it your best shot.
I would go with the Litany of Humility.
Yeah.
I would pray that a lot, and the one line in the prayer is, to pray for those to be holier than I, provided that I may be as holy as I can be, something like that. And I think that's, to have that desire and want for others to be in that holy place,
To willing the good of the other.
to will the good of the other and to celebrate it, even if it's not for me, but to celebrate it for those.
Do you feel like you are a catalyst to that, or to helping other people to achieve their potential?
Well, I hope so.
Good.
I hope so. Yeah.
Well, I think you're a perfect guy for that.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I don't see it, but I guess other people see it, and so I think that's one of the things.
Well, are there any questions, Boris? Boris has got the mic out there. So.
I happen to have the mic, so I get the first question. Are you worried about doing your first homily?
Now that you bring it up, no, I think they prepare you in the classes. They prepare you. There's a homiletics class. We had 2 homiletics class, and I also had, I guess, practice when I was at Father Joe's village. I would do service there, and then you would do we call a reflection. You can't call it a homily yet because we're not ordained, but not too worried. I practiced in front of my wife and children, and they seem to like it.
I probably speak for a lot of people in this group now that if your homilies are like the questions you just answered, I can't wait to hear them.
Oh, thank you.
Joe, we're very proud of you. I'm just thrilled that you're now a deacon after all of your hard work. I've seen you grow, and and we're just excited to have such a humble and holy man like yourself to be a servant of Christ for us. I wanted to ask you just to get a sense of the amount of effort and time it took through this 5 years of preparation. That's a long time. How many hours a week are you spending in study or classes, and how many hours, and how many, actually doing service work? Just to give an idea of what it takes to get from the start to the finish.
Right. Yeah. So our classes is, it was once a week, but it's like 3 hours, and then there's, depending on the professor, homework, paper, a final. Presentations, and then every year, along with that, every year you do ministry work, which is either with the hospice, with the hospital, Father Joe's Village with the poor, juvenile detention, and I think one year, which was my last year, because of background checks, took a while. It kind of, my last year, I had to double up 2 ministries, which was the detention center and Father Joe's Village on Sundays, and so it's a lot. It's a lot, and so the support from your family, the support from your wife was really crucial, and I wouldn't be able to do it without them. Seriously.
How about those guys?
Now that you are a deacon, is it going to take more or less of your time?
I don't know, because I still have to study it, and to make sure that I'm proclaiming it properly. And
but now you're serving, doing baptism, funerals.
Serving, baptism. I mean, yes, and everything that I've done over there now in other ministries are going to be focused here at Our Lady. Even though the detention ministry and Father Joe's are asking, can you come back? Can you come back? Like, but they have. What's good about it is that they have other deacon candidates to grow into that as well. And so now that I'm here, I can focus more of my time, doing all that.
I'm curious about the guys who are still working full-time and going through the program, that must be really taxing.
Yeah.
I mean, you weren't exactly full-time, were you? You kind of had your own...
I was working from home, during that time. But then toward the end of my formation, I started to work full-time at the office, and then in maybe 6 months after, or a year and 6 months, then I became full-time here as a pastoral associate. But yeah, we have guys doing full-time work in their jobs and then doing deacon roles, and
Somehow they make it.
somehow God puts it together, and they keep going.
Francisco has a question.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We know that Larnie sacrificed a great deal with you. And we also know that she's a medical doctor, which in itself involves a great deal of sacrifice and some hardships. And you mentioned that you guys met in high school.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm wondering whether you got a little head start on the idea behind sacrificing, because you did not necessarily go to the same schools, or, when she goes through school, you may have to separate. I mean, all of those kind of things.
Yeah.
How'd you guys navigate that?
Yeah. I think the big word is trust. Trust in each other, trust in God. There was a time when she went to medical school in the Philippines, and I stayed here, and we stayed faithfully together throughout those 4 years. And then, because we were engaged, and we decided to, wait to get married after she's finished. But throughout those 4 years, we would try to communicate as much as we can. This was before cell phones that you can just call anytime with FaceTime, and even email was difficult. So we would write letters to each other. And the time difference is different in the Philippines, of course. When she's going to sleep, I'm waking up. And 16 hours. Yeah. And so we said, if we can get through this, we can weather the storm together. And it just so happens like perhaps God was preparing us to walk this long road together, because we'll be doing that in formation together as well. And that I think really prepared us for formation in the diaconate to be together.
Hello. Congratulations again. Hearing you mentioned the brotherhood you found growing up, and then also in formation. Could also hear what you discovered in terms of this calling as like a new way of life from before, and also what mentorship you've also found in the formation process.
Mm-hmm. I think looking back, like I said, I mentioned earlier, like we had someone in the formation drop out, and that kind of brought us together, because we got so close so soon. And I think also the fact that when we took classes, it was at the end of, it's the end of the day, so we need to eat. And we brought, I think the first day someone brought food, and then we decided like every week, a couple would take a turn to bring the food, and we didn't just do that for a couple of classes. We did that for the entire 5 years, which is unheard of with other classes, I heard. And that would bring us really close as a brotherhood and as a sisterhood, or with each other. So I think that fellowship of being together, because we would not just learn our faith, but we would fellowship with each other, and that, you just work better with food when you're not hungry. Yeah. And just like how you do here with the burritos. Mm-hmm. And then, you fellowship, and then So having that, it just brought us closer. And the teachers in the beginning, they'd be like, "Oh, you're that class that brings food," because it takes time out of their teaching. But we eventually won them over because they're like, "Oh, you brought that.
Because it was good
You
food.
brought food today. What are you bringing next week?" Like, "Oh, yeah." So it's, and then you know, like I said, you develop these holy friendships, and I think that's the goal, because you really can't do this alone.
Will you be doing reunions with your classmates over there?
We just had one yesterday.
Did
you know,
you?
it's been a week. It's been a week since formation, and we miss each other. Yeah. So great. I mean, because I know it's gonna. We've heard the other classes. It's just after they get ordained, it's hard to get together again, because the demands of the church and the schedules. But this is your brothers and sisters that you've been serving and you love for 5 years, and then all of a sudden you can't see them anymore. So we try to make an effort.
Well, what about when you get reassigned? Or I mean, you swore obedience to the bishop, and what if he says, "Well, hey, we need you over in Calexico or someplace like that"?
Yeah.
How do you deal with that? Or what if you, what was that, Deacon? He moved back to the Midwest.
Oh, Deacon Ralph.
Deacon Ralph, yeah. I mean, how does that work out with the diaconate now?
Yeah. No, I swore fidelity to that. So wherever the bishop says I go.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess we'll talk about it when it happens.
When the time comes.
Yeah. So, but for now, I'm here, and I hadn't heard anything about leaving, so I plan to stay. But if it does happen, I mean, yeah, that's how it's going to go.
Got to do what you got to do.
You got to do what you got to do. You got to do what the bishop says. But I mean, he's a good guy. I think he didn't tell me anything about. Yeah. He said you're good here.
Yeah, that's good.
From our last conversation.
Well, we're kind of still in a state of mild trauma from the fact that we're losing our priests.
Yeah, and then Father Gabriel's stuck.
I'm sure we're going to have great priests coming in, but there's going to be an adjustment period, and I'm glad you're there to kind of moderate things a little bit. A familiar face is always good.
Yeah.
When in times of change. So one thing I'd like to do is recognize Deacon Noel is here. He's trying to be invisible back there.
A deacon you don't see.
Yeah. Would you like to say something, Deacon Noel? It's been a while since we've seen you.
You want to hear some of the questions that you've given him? Well, for the last questions, about the bishop, asking you to go to another place. Usually what we were told before then is that you really belong to the parish, where you were ordained, unlike priests, that they're basically sent to different churches. Now, but there are some situations wherein the bishop could send you to another place. And that's what happened to me. I was there for about 15 years. And then where I'm at right now, at the Church of Nativity, 5 years ago, they needed somebody over there, or they needed a new priest over there. Something happened at Church of Nativity. And so they called this priest, and the priest said, "But I need a deacon." I don't know this priest before. And he gave my name. And basically, before I even said yes, Okay, I said, let me pray about it because I've been here 15 years and this is my parish. Before I even said yes, about 5 years ago during the ordination, one of the ordination 5 years ago, the associate director, while in procession for the mass, I was told then, you have your transfer. I said, where am I transferring? So Bishop Dolan approved my transfer to Nativity because they needed a deacon over there and to help this priest. Yeah. So there are circumstances then wherein basically, yes, you can be transferred, but not far from your place of residence.
Is it Deacon Frank over there now? Deacon Frank? Is he over there now? No.
I'm still the only deacon over there. Oh, we do have Deacon Frank, okay? Frank Riley here, okay? But the pastor does not consider him then a regular deacon over there. Okay, because he just shows up whenever he wants to. Or not. So we don't have a schedule for him and all that other stuff.
Well, it's nice to see you back, even if it's just for today.
You're getting younger. You think what's going on?
The only thing I can basically advise Deacon Joe is this. First, please make sure then that you take your family also. We are always told during the diaconate formation that your family comes first. But I can tell you, it's hard. Very, very, very hard. Okay? So don't forget your family, especially your kids growing up and all that other stuff. Okay? Secondly, serving, which is basically in the diaconate as a deacon then, you want to serve over there in the service ministry because being serving always in the Mass, that's basically secondary to your calling as a deacon. You are not called to serve over there on the altar. That's secondary. The primary then is basically service of the people. So the different ministries. That's why we have to go through juvenile ministry then, hospice ministry and all that other stuff. And so I guess especially first, there are two things basically that I guess for one reason or the other, since I just heard you speak, the same paper I work was on the liturgy, funerals. So I ended up in here for 15 years doing funerals in here and all that other stuff. But, and you were basically ordained also before the Holy Trinity, Feast of the Holy Trinity of Solemnity, right? I was ordained on the Feast of the Holy Trinity as well. In fact, I'm going to be 20 years now in the diaconate this Tuesday, June 9th. Okay, yeah. And so just please again, okay, don't forget the service ministry part of the diaconate because that is really why you are a deacon. Okay, yeah.
All right, well, we got to press forward here. We're about out of time.
I just want to add really quick. Deacon Noel was the one that brought me into the diaconate, the first one to help me to see the calling. Yeah, so thank you. Thank you so much. I was serving with him at a funeral, and he saw me in the cassock, and he said, that looks good on you. Have you ever considered becoming a deacon? I'll think about it.
That was one of those little things, the little straw that broke the camel's back.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you, Joseph.
Thank you.
For spending some time with us. I know that you're going to be a very busy man in the upcoming years, months and years, and we appreciate your commitment. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
God bless.
Thanks. Thank you, everybody.